know the world can see us in a way that's different than who we are. Hello, YouTube! Oh, I forgot my phone. Hi, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Val, and I'm so happy that you clicked on this video so you can find out a little bit more about what I hated about High School Musical, the series, the planet, the volcano, the actual art, piece of art by Michelangelo. I'm so happy you're here! Okay, so before we get started, I do want to give a disclaimer. This is only going to be about my opinion, what I liked, what I disliked, and then also what I've kind of discussed with people in my life that they liked and disliked about the series. I have absolutely no hate at all towards Disney. I love almost every single thing that they put out into the world. It's literally helped me grow up into the woman I am today. And I think that's kind of all I have to say for this intro. Make sure to comment down below what you thought about the series if you would like, and if you agree or disagree with me on my points that I will be sharing today. That's all I have to say for this intro, so let's just get started. Side note, there will be a lot of spoilers, so if you haven't actually watched the whole series, make sure to watch it prior to watching the rest of this video, because then you'll actually understand what I'm talking about. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the pros, or wait, should we start with the cons? Oh, Joe, what do you think? Let's start with the cons so we can end on a high note. Forget you, Joe.
Yeah, I was gonna say start with the cons because
we want to end on a high note.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So the first thing that I definitely want to touch on that I feel like nobody has given enough like emphasis to. There's some emphasis, but not enough. Okay, like this was horrible. So starting off with the cons, number one was the film style. I have absolutely no clue what whoever was thinking when they decided that they were going to like half office, half not office do when they were like making this series. Like the way that the characters look at the camera and are aware and are breaking the third wall between themselves and the audience, it doesn't fit this series. When you think of High School Musical, you think of not that, you know, and maybe they were going for something different, but also what I feel like makes this really awkward is the fact that some parts of the series aren't consistent with the film style, right? If there was a film crew that is filming these kids at school and following them around and all of these sorts of things, that would make sense and it would stay in school, right? But we get some of these shots of like the main characters in their bedroom or in these private spots, and you just know that the characters would not be acting the way that they're acting if they knew that they were being watched and filmed by a camera crew. So it's just like this, I think, just really odd idea that should have either been really stuck to and really pursued fully throughout the entire thing, so then maybe not following people to their homes unless like they really have to and that person is aware that they're being watched, or just keep it normal as like a normal film style and don't let the characters be aware that they're characters in a world type of thing. Like, it was not a documentary, it was a series. So what are you doing filming this like documentary style? Like, no, nobody's aware that you're filming them, and it was just a mess. It was a mess. It was so inconsistent. I seriously disliked it. Oh, and I also want to point out that Ricky was giving me like major Jim vibes from The Office. Especially towards the beginning, which is just really weird because you definitely don't want a Disney TV show to be copying like an iconic old show that is just like, let's just cringe. Like, just don't do that. Don't give me Jim vibes, Ricky. Next, the next thing that sucked about High School Musical, the musical series, the creation, the toy, the fitness health panel, was the episodes. They moved so fast. They were just like, oh my gosh, there were only 10 episodes and like the actual storyline was moving so quickly throughout those 10 episodes. Like, if we look at the titles of each of the episodes in the series, you can just tell that things are moving so quickly. One episode is only roughly 30 minutes, so for the things that they're saying in the titles to be covered in those short 30 to 40 minutes is just like wild. And you don't even have to be like a theater kid to know this. Like, I barely did theater like when I was 12, which was so long ago, and I know that this 40-minute representation of whatever it may be is not long enough to accurately represent whatever it is they're talking about. So like, for example, episode number 1, the auditions. Episode 2, read-throughs. then blocking, homecoming, what team, Thanksgiving, tech rehearsal, like Thanksgiving. Like the semester starts, right, on episode 1, and by episode 7, they're already in Thanksgiving. So an entire, what, like 2 months has passed? Thanksgiving is in November, so it's been 3 months worth of content. Like that is definitely not enough time to allow a watcher to really get into the story and into the characters. And I think that leads me to my next point. Character development. The characters. Oh my gosh, the characters. Starting off with my main characters, Nene and Ricky. In regards to these two main characters, I seriously felt like there's a big lack of connection between the audience and them. They are semi-relatable, right? Ricky is going through this thing where his parents are being divorced, and Nene is trying to figure out like if she's a confident person and wants to pursue an acting career or not, or what she wants to do with her life, which is like totally relatable things for teens. However, whenever both of those problems are portrayed to the audience, I don't think they're portrayed sufficiently well enough. Like for example, whenever Ricky is going through like all of his emotions and he's like running away from home and like trying to find a place to stay, whenever he goes over and tries to talk to Nene about like what's going on in his head and all that stuff, I think Disney makes an attempt to showcase what's going on in Ricky's head, but I don't think they were explicit enough about how he really felt. I think that it would have been not super hard to give him a 30-second dialogue of him explaining to Nene what he was feeling in his head, other than just like, I'm so scared, right? Like, I'm so scared, sure. Why don't you go a little bit more in depth about like what are his actual worries as of right now because of his parents' divorce? And Nene mostly like goes through her struggles through music, which is fine, right? But also that's less relatable, and she's our main character, so we as an audience should really be connecting her on a deeper level that isn't just a song. And if it is, why didn't Disney just release like a soundtrack? What is your purpose here? Like, what are you trying to do? Digressing from just the lack of character development between Nene and Ricky, I just have to say, like, their dynamic together, I was just really confused by it, because at first one of them is mad at the other, and then the other is mad at the other, and you can tell that like they're not too sure where they stand with each other, right? In the first episode of the entire series, Nene is pretty unhappy with Ricky. But then later, you see Nene being jealous that Ricky is talking to Gina, and that makes no sense, because girl, you were mad at him. You were mad at him. When did you stop being mad at him? Like, I thought it was a type of like good riddance, goodbye, see you later type of thing, and I started like rooting for Gina and Ricky, but how am I supposed to do that if my main character over here is being mad at Ricky because like of his dynamic with Gina? Like, how am I supposed to be feeling right now? Conflicted? I think so. And all this frustration just like kept being built up, because I ultimately from the beginning was rooting for Ricky, right? Like, he's supposed to be our main character, and so I'm rooting for him to get back with Nene, but there's just like too much push and pull with them, and it's not something that's making me happy, it's something that's frustrating me. Digressing from our two main characters, Nene and Ricky, I loved the other characters. Ashlyn, what a queen. Ricky's best friend, Big Red, he was incredible. Like, loved that character. Gina being like her little sassy self reminded me so much of like a lot of dancers in the dance world, right? Like, just being like a I'm better than you type of thing. Like, it's sad, but it's true, you know. There's always like this weird like confidence that dancers bring to the table, and I just really felt like Gina was carrying that energy, and I was like, good representation, yes, accurate. Carlos, he was just like amazing, and his relationship with like fake Sharpay, or like the Sharpay in this show, I forgot his name right now, but I'll put it right here on the screen. Like, it was so thorough, it was so pure, and like this man was like so sassy. This Sharpay man, he was so like great of a character, and this man lived on a farm. Like, why didn't we get more of his life? Like, I want to know like how you handle that, how you handle going through high school and then like living on a farm and then being like an inner diva who just wants to act and not live on a farm and instead live in Hollywood. Like, give me something about that. That is interesting. My last three characters that I also loved, Miss Jen, Mr. Benjamin, and freaking EJ. Like, they're just great. Like, EJ's dynamic of I love myself type boy who just expects the world to be handed to him is just like, you know, we always gotta have one of those. I really enjoyed him. Oh shoot, and I forgot to mention Courtney. I didn't love Courtney as a character. Like, at the beginning of the entire show, she talks about being good at makeup, and pretty much all I get from her. And then everyone like freaks out in the middle of the show because she like apparently is like a really great singer and actress and like was just trying to do makeup, and I'm just like, Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like she was kind of irrelevant. It was really sad. Because she could be a good character, you know? We'll never know. Okay, the last con that I have to talk about is the very last episode, whenever they actually put on the show. That is High School Musical, the musical. It's actually the 9th and 10th episode, the very last two, where they're actually putting on the performance. And do you see my frustration right now? The entire show leads up to these last two episodes. You want it to be amazing. You want things to go right. You want to be blown away, just like High School Musical blew you away whenever Troy and Gabriella got up on that stage and they sang their little song, and like Sharpay and Ryan, they sang their song and it was just amazing and they're so good. Oh my god, it's so much. This show had so much to live up to. But then, right, we get to opening night and act 2, the last 2 episodes of the entire series, and they sucked. They were horrible. I was so disappointed and I'm so heartbroken because of the choice Disney made to have the high school students as actors suck, right? They were terrible. Their acting was absolutely terrible. They were talking to each other on stage, which like I know is a thing, but like, what are you doing? And then like it was just so unrealistic. Like it was like, oh, I'm in the next scene, but I'm in the dressing room like talking to Gina about like her feelings. Like sure, yes, talk to people about their feelings, but what are you doing in the dress? Like you are coming up, girl. You need to be backstage on the wing, like waiting to come out. Like what are you doing? This is so unrealistic to like how an actual show goes. Not to mention that Nene at this time is actually like performing for an acting agent of this like amazing school, and it's just so unrealistic because her acting sucks. And like the whole show sucks because they're not ready. They're not on the wings. Like I was just so stressed for them. This is so unrealistic, and like I know it's just a show, but like in real life, like that girl would not have taken Nene. She would not have taken her to her acting school. That would not have happened. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there, and she was just like a little chihuahua. And like real acting people in high school are just so good. Like people of my high school were better than that. Life is just so much harder than what they portrayed it to be. That's literally all I have to say for my cons. Make sure to comment down below if you agree or disagree with me because I'm frustrated. All right, now let's go ahead and move on to the pros of the show, which I'll be going through in order to lighten the mood. Yay, pros! So the first thing that I really liked about High School Musical, the musical series, the tampon brand, the window cleaning company, modeling agency, the photography complex, was the diversity. I thought they did a great job of having like lots of different groups of people represented. I know that Nene has 2 moms. I know that the 2 guys, Carlos and then Sharpay over here, they are, you know, representing the LGBTQ community. And then as well, I thought there was like a lot of color inclusion through Carlos. And as well, of course, we've got Gina and Courtney also adding in some color to the mix. So I felt like they did a good job of including lots of different groups. Next, I felt like they had really age-appropriate actors. I think in High School Musical, the actual movie, I feel like some of the characters look a little bit older and like more mature to just be high school students. And I think this is just a problem like in general in movies and in shows. But I thought that they did a really great job of like picking people who look like real high school students, right? So props to them for doing that as well. I really enjoyed that choice. Yes, next. This one's kind of funny. I really appreciated the names of the characters. Like I know that has absolutely nothing to do with anything, but I'm really mainly saying this for EJ and Nene. I felt like those were kind of like modern names just because they're not like your cookie cutter, everyone recognizes this name as like a thing, and them being like some of the 2 most main characters I think also kind of helps with that. And it also shows how we're paving the way to having name evolution in like the future. Now people are naming their kids all sorts of crazy things, and I just feel like this is a good explanation of how prevalent that is nowadays. And I know those aren't super crazy names, but you know, it's a transition, okay? We're making our way there. All right, save the best for last but not least, what I loved the most about High School Musical, the musical, the series, was the songs. The songs were incredible. They were like, wow. Like, and when I say that, I'm mostly talking about like Ashlyn's like Miss Darvis solo song. Like that was just like, oh my gosh, it was so good. And then as well, Nene's song Out of the Old, so good as well. I thought they were like really cool, like modern type songs in comparison to like kind of the older High School Musical OG songs. And I did feel like it was a good artistic and just directional choice to move away from kind of like the style of music, like the very Broadway style of music that they had in High School Musical, the movie, and then have like more relatable, personal type songs now in the series. I felt like that didn't take away anything from like the actual plot, or like it wasn't something that was like too shocking for the audience. So yeah, I know I was a little bit more passionate about the cons than the pros, but like I would say that we did a pretty good job of hitting all the goods and bads of High School Musical, the musical series. Thank you so much for being here. I am so glad that you clicked on this video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, my name is Belle and I film videos
kind of often, kind of not, you know, who knows. I
kind of have nothing to say except for subscribe if you like this video, like this video if you liked it, and I hope to see you again soon. And I love you and I hope that you have a great day.
Bye.